Hi, and welcome to John's Model Kit Review. In today's episode, we will be looking at Tamiya's classic Focke-Wulf Fw190 F-8 in 1/48 scale. And this is an in-process review, so I've made some progress on the kit. This is Tamiya kit number 61039. In this review, we're going to be looking at the progress made so far and how the kit is building up currently. We will look at the surface detail on the exterior of the kit. We will also look at the detail parts and some of those, what comes in the box, and the level of detail on the smaller parts. We will take a look at the kit instructions and how those are laid out. We will also look at the kit decals, what comes in the box. We will look at the color and marking guides that are provided in the kit, and some of these are actually on the top of the box, so you can see that here. We will also look at the clear parts that come in the kit and the quality of those. And then I will give some areas to watch out for, some potential problem areas on this kit. And yes, it's a Tamiya, yes, it's a simple kit, but there are some things to watch out for. Next, I'm going to be talking about a couple of the extras that I'm using, including True Details wheels and a True Details resin seat. And finally, I will be attempting to answer the question, with all of the other 1/48 scale FW190 kits available, is this Tamiya kit still worth a build? Currently, I also have Eduard's FW190 kit on the workbench, and so we'll talk about how these two kits compare. Having built Tamiya's FW190 D9 previously, I feel like I'm already familiar with this kit somewhat. And as you can see, it really looked nice when I finished it. It looked nice under a coat of paint. And if we look at the surface detailing on the kit parts here, this is the underside of the wing. It looks pretty decent. It doesn't look bad. There's not an extensive amount of rivet detail here. If we look at the tail planes, they're honestly rather simple. There's not a whole lot of detail on those at all. If we look at the fuselage, you can see the wing root here and the side of the fuselage. It's in grave detail, it's consistent, and I'll put up a picture of the Eduard FW190A kit that I'm currently working on, and you can see it just has more extensive rivet detailing and a little bit finer detailing overall on the exterior of the kit. Moving on to the instructions, step 1 covers the cockpit interior. And there's going to be a fair amount of detail painting on this. Because it's not very parts heavy, you're going to need to pick out all of the details here with a paintbrush and some fine detailing if you want these to look realistic. And the same goes for the instrument panel. The kit does not come with a decal for the instruments. I will be using a True Details seat. That should look good. I would suggest adding seat belts regardless of if you use a kit seat or not. Step 2 covers joining the fuselage and adding a few details to that. It also covers installing the interior into the fuselage and adding the engine to the front of the fuselage. Step 3 covers the wheel wells and the lower wing. It also covers drilling out holes for accessories depending on what bombs or what rocket options you want to choose for that. And you can see this is a picture of the lower wing assembly with the wheel wells installed and the bomb racks and the fuel tank rack as well. Step 4 covers the wings. I deviated from the instructions here and actually just glued the upper wings to the fuselage halves. That really ensures a very good upper wing to fuselage fit. This is a prominently visible area on the kit, and I'd rather get this right and tweak some other areas than join the wings and then have this be a problem area, because it's very difficult to sand and fill your wing roots. In subsequent test fitting of the lower wing to the fuselage and upper wings, I found that I had to file the underside of the upper wings to really get a good fit here. Step 5 is really the critical step on this kit. This is the money step right here. And if you take your time and dry fit things and you get this step correct, you're really going to have a fairly trouble-free build. What I've found is once you start putting everything together, the lower wing, the fuselage, the engine, the cowling, and the upper gun cover, the tolerances really add up, and so it is critical to dry fit this nose area and to really take your time and just keep going back until you've got everything lined up correctly. I would suggest gluing the lower wing to the fuselage first and really getting the upper and lower wing solidly glued together. Once that is complete, really just tweaking part D1, your engine cowl, until it fits really nicely. In dry fitting, it seemed like the top of the engine interfered a little bit with the engine cowling, so I have cut off the top of the accessories on the front of the engine here. You can see that in this picture. Step 6 covers the main landing gear. And we'll take a look at the parts here. As you can see, there are some ejector pin marks on the back side of the landing gear legs and on the inside of the landing gear covers. Fortunately, these kind of cover each other up, and so they shouldn't be that big a deal. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be using some nice True Details resin wheels to dress this kit up a little bit. Step 7 just covers installing the landing gear and a couple of antennas. And if you take your time here, you really shouldn't have issues. The landing gear is keyed and it fits pretty nicely. Step 8 covers the assembly of the drop tank and the bombs or rockets. Step 9 covers installation of these items. I deviated from this by mounting the bomb racks and the drop tank rack to the lower wing in a previous step. Step 10 covers the assembly of the prop. It also covers the assembly of the cockpit canopy. Looking at the clear parts here, they should fit fine. You're going to get a little bit of distortion through the clear parts. They're a little bit on the thick side. And almost anytime you have a blown canopy, if you go with that option, it gives you a little bit more distortion with the curved plastic. Step 11 is the final step, and it covers installing the prop and the canopy and the footstep. There are 4 marking options included in this kit. You have a plane from Hungary as a first marking option. You have another one from Germany. The second marking option actually gets a full color 3 view on the side of the box. The third option is a desert camo Fw190. I think this one's really cool. I may do this color scheme. And it also has a 3 view color call out on the side of the box. The final marking option is an Fw190 in Hungary, and it has winter camouflage, kind of some squiggle winter camouflage. That's kind of a cool option too. In conclusion, is Tamiya's Fw190 F-8 still worth a build? Well, let's start with the positives. This kit has a very low parts count. It should be fairly easy to assemble. Really, the only areas to watch out for are the wing roots and the engine cowl and the fit of those. If you take your time and dry fit things, you really should be rewarded with a good fitting kit. I would recommend this kit for newer modelers or modelers who are getting back into the hobby and want a low parts count and something that's not going to overwhelm them with small parts. Man, these kits are great. They do look nice on the shelf. You can still trim them out nicely. And for a lot of modelers, they're going to be happier building one of these than they would be building a kit that has a higher parts count, but maybe a little bit more accurate. If you only build the latest and greatest, I would recommend one of Eduard's new tool Fw190 F kits. Well, I'd love to know what you guys think. If any of you have built Tamiya's Fw190 F8 previously and want to share your experience in the comment section below, please feel free to do so. As always, I hope you found this video entertaining and informative, and until next time, model on.